I can hear it now.
And actually, when I was listening to the
Is it now?
just that we don't talk into the thing.
You can't do nothing.
And it's bad. It's horrible
Yeah.
for the listening.
We just gonna whisper. So, I didn't have to come get you? Okay. Okay. Okay, as long as.
I know the capability of my knees.
Are y'all here?
Okay, you ready?
Sure.
Lipstick at it.
Is your microphone on, ma'am?
Yep. Ready?
You gotta pull it, put the agenda.
Why didn't you get it? Did I?
So you can click on each item as needed. Open session. Down a little bit more. Scroll down right here.
Wait a minute, let me kind of move it. Closed session.
We got it.
Is that open? Okay, there we go.
Ready?
Ready.
Good afternoon. It is 7:20. I'd like to start the meeting. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
My name is Ms. Sharon Tisler. I am the Vice President of the Board. Ms. Williams and Dr. Yvonne Elliott is excused, and I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you. Next.
Roll call, two steps. Roll call.
Roll call to establish a quorum, please.
Miss Wanda Lane,
Here.
Miss Jacqueline Jackson,
Here.
Miss Maura Real,
Here.
Miss Sharon Tisworth,
Here.
and
I'm here.
Dr. Coleman.
Generally, at this time, we read the board norms, which is in the policy, but we are working on them at this time, and hope we'll be able to read them the next board meeting. I'd like a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Madam Vice Chair, I so move.
Second.
Second.
Approved by Ms. Moria and second by Mrs. Lane. We like to do, have Riverview Excellence, please.
You vote for that approval.
Oh, I need a vote for the approval. Bear with me, people.
Miss
All in
Jackson,
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, no vote. Now Riverview Excellence.
All right. Good evening, Board of Education. Dr. Patton, colleagues, community, and scholars and families. Good to see so many faces out here today at Michelle Obama Early Childhood Academic Center. For Riverview Excellence, we have several awardees, honorees this evening. When I read your name, if you can stand up, come on up, and we'll give you your certificate and shirt. Then you can have a seat, and at the end, we'll take a photo with the board and all of our honorees. Although first, if Ms. Morrill can just stand where you are. Our first honoree is Ms. Veronica Morrill, member of our Board of Education. Ms. Morrill was recently honored by the Missouri School Board Association and given the distinguished certification as a board member. Now, Ms. Morrill has been a part of MSBA for, you just said, over 15 years. Part of the requirements, you have to achieve advanced and master certification. You have to earn at least 60 credits, complete annual training. You have to read a book related to school board service, observe a board meeting in 2 other districts, attend at least 2 regional or statewide events, and demonstrate leadership, advocacy, and presentation skills. And Ms. Morrill has definitely done that. So this is definitely a big honor and a big achievement, so we want to salute you for getting that distinguished status.
Yes.
And next up, and we did give Ms. Morrill her certificate and T-shirt up there, so we didn't diss her. We just let her set it up there to make it easy for her. Next, Mr. Bobby Robinson, custodian. Come on up, Mr. Bobby. And as he comes up, so Mr. Bobby, as he's affectionately known, was instrumental in helping the summer teams here at Michelle Obama and other schools, because I know Mr. Bobby kind of helps out over at Danforth, and he's been called in. It seems like whenever they need help, Mr. Bobby gets the call. And so the floors here at Michelle Obama are always looking amazing. He looks out for school safety, makes sure that the wet floor signs or the signs that need to be out there, the safety tape, the barricade, and he always communicates well with the building leaders and the staff. And so Dr. Williams said they could not be successful without you, Mr. Bobby. I've known Mr. Bobby for a long time, and you've always done an excellent job. So we just want to salute you for that.
Mr. Bobby, don't go far. You gotta take
Don't
your
go too
picture.
far.
Don't go
Yeah.
far.
He can go back, have a seat. Next, Miss Rochelle T. Goldman. And Ms. T. Goldman is a team-oriented and innovative leader as an administrative assistant here at Michelle Obama. She has acclimated from, transitioned from the high school over here to Michelle Obama and done a superb job. She helps to create the school climate that's fun and thoughtful by leading the Sunshine Committee and the Birthday Club. And so I know that in your time here at Michelle Obama, you've become a treasured and a key member. And so we want to thank you. Did you have any words?
No,
She said no, thank you. All right. All right, next, and if the board will allow, we have a student that we wanted to honor that's not on the agenda here, but we got this information in. Miss Micah and his parents, Micah S. and his parents can come on up. Yeah, don't send Micah all alone. Come on up, parents, come on up. Although I'm gonna give this to you. And Micah says, Micah is a sweetheart. He has a wonderful personality and cares for others. He's always willing to help other scholars. Now this part is impressive because I don't know if I can do this. It says Micah can count to 100 without skipping any numbers. Is that true? Oh, wow.
So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, I believe you. I believe you. You better go, Joe. You're like, look, I said I got 400. That is awesome, Micah. We believe you. He always has a smile on his face. He often asks for a high five and a hug from Dr. Williams. And Micah and his mother are also often at the events here at Michelle Obama. So, Micah, get a high five from you. There you go. All right. Congratulations.
All right, Michael, hold on. Start at 90. Go. 90. 90.
1, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100.
All right.
I thought I was going to catch him. I thought he was going to get to 99, but he got it. That's awesome. His teachers as well. Awesome. We appreciate all the support from Micah. And then lastly, if I can have Miss Ebony Buckner and Felicia Shelby come on up. Dynamic duo here. And so Miss Buckner and Miss Shelby are being recognized. At the last meeting, we recognized some of the people who helped with registration, and Miss Shelby got her T-shirt already, so we didn't diss her either. But a lot of people who helped out with registration over the summer. These two ladies helped out with registration as well, but also they were key in the transition over to Focus. They worked with Ms. Adams Turnipseed to help make sure that our new student information system, they did testing, they did implementing, they helped parents to get onto the system so they could get registered. So we wanted to recognize them because that was a huge undertaking. I'm sure the IT team and the core data team will tell you it was a big transition, and these two ladies played a key role in that process. So we salute you. They were here early, they stayed late, all over the summer just working on that. So we want to salute them for that. So now if everybody can come on back up to the front and come around to the board, and we'll take a photograph. Okay. Well, the adults first, and then Micah will come later. Come on, Mr. Bobby, come on. And go ahead and give them a round of applause while they're coming up. Thank you, and that concludes Riverview Excellence.
Is there any public comments, please?
There is none.
Thank you very much. Board members, motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Madam Chair, I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Approved by Ms. Coleman and second by Mrs. Jackson.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Is there any discussion?
I will now turn the meeting over to Dr. Patton.
Good evening. Thank you, Vice Chair of the Board. Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
I just want to give my superintendent's report, and then we'll move into informations for items and discussion. We have had a great 6 days of school. So 6 days. Give yourselves a round of applause. There are some people that I would, well, first of all, I want to thank Oh, today. Okay, so when I made the notes, it was this morning. It was only 6. So we are now 7 days into the school year. So only 164 more to go. So, all right, I do want to take an opportunity to thank our facilities. This is our grounds people as well as our custodial staff. Our schools looked awesome. And I have to, hats off to facilities under the leadership of Mr. Shard and his team. Thank you so much. The buildings look great. You all cared about our students and our staff entering our buildings. I want to shout out Mr. Freeman too. I don't see him, but he's here somewhere. But I do want to appreciate him as well. I do want to talk to our security team because we put some new things in motion this year with our vestibules and our metal detectors, and they have stepped up and they have done well in that. So thank you to our security team, our food service team, making sure that our students are fed and ready for the school day, our building principals in their team because they adapted. Yes, they adapted, and their teams, their administrative assistants, the teachers in their building, everybody who helped to make this first 7 days a good first 7 days. Central service staff, CNI, continuous improvement, leadership and accountability, student services. Thank you for being out in the buildings, especially the first day. It was all hands on deck, and then some of us went out after that and have been around the building, around all of our buildings. So thank you all for that. Without us being a team, it would not work. So thank you to them. Our families for ensuring our students were here and ready to learn. I do also want to shout out our partners. Little Bit Foundation, making sure that all of our students had uniforms, as well as Soul Fishers for their after-school program that they provide in the majority of our schools. So we have 164 more days to go, only 164 more days. So give yourselves a round of applause for everything that we've done this first week. Our tech team, I have to shout you out for making sure that our board meetings that are on the move, we are ready for. So our tech team, thank you. I do want to welcome the mayor from Delwood, Mayor Reggie, who is here with us. If there are any other elected officials, please let me know. Mayor Reggie's suit is standing out to me, so I noticed him. All right, we have registered to date 4,247 students. We have another almost 400 and about 500 completing registration. Our registration is open and ongoing, so please make sure, parents, that you get your students registered for school. We have made phone calls, emails, social media posts, home visits, phone blast, robocalls, text messages, any way we can get the information out. We have been registering for this school year since March. So yeah, all of our students should be fully registered by now. So parents, please get your students registered. We have an immunization clinic for our parents and our students on September the 12th at Westview Middle School. That will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we are asking, if your students are not fully immunized, that you please go to Westview September the 12th, 9 to 1 p.m. For immunizations. Our homecoming, well, first of all, let me talk about our first football game. Our first football game is this Saturday at Riverview Gardens High School against Rittner at 11 a.m. Now, if you haven't heard, our football team were all conference champs last year, for the first time since 1998. So give them a round of applause. Come out and support them. And then the last item I have is our homecoming will be October 11th, 2025. We will have a parade, a football game, and a dance. So we are asking everybody to join us, come out. We will start our parade at 9 a.m., leaving transportation that is on Bell Fountain and Chambers. We will make a right on Bell Fountain and go down to Shepley, make another right, and stop at our high school. So again, the parade is 9 a.m., the football game is at 11, and then the dance is later on that evening, and again, that date is October the 8th. Madam Vice Chair, that concludes Superintendent's announcement. I can move into items for information? Not yet.
Moving to items for information.
Okay. Our first item up for information is RGSD report card solution tree presentation. Making this presentation is Ms. Barbara Sharp, the Executive Director of Continuous Improvement and Title IX Coordinator, and Mr. Ben Tilley, Director of Solution Tree. This presentation is in conjunction with Policy IA and IGAB, Instructional Goals and Instructional Intervention. Ms. Sharp?
Good evening to the Board of Education, Superintendent Patton, colleagues, and members of the community. Tonight I am presenting, as has been stated, the district report card that identifies the work that has occurred with Solution Tree. As you're aware, in 2022, the Board of Education for the Riverview Garden School District, formerly known as the SAB, approved Solution Tree as a vendor of choice to support the district in K-12 turnaround school initiatives. With the approval of this initiative, the priority schools at work in a PLC became the driving force of this district-wide methodology. Tonight, Mr. Ben Tilley, who is the Missouri Director for Solution Tree, will present a progress report. He's taken great time and care to prepare this report. The report encompasses 3 years of work, and so we want to make sure that you are able to have this information, and so that it can address all of the work that has occurred within the district, especially as it relates to improving student performance. As he presents, you'll notice a series of benefits. Some I'll just share just briefly. That includes accountability. It shows the work that the vendors has done to meet the contractual goals and obligations. It creates an opportunity for transparency. In other words, it provides clear and accessible information to all stakeholders in terms of the work that has occurred within this district. It focuses on continuous improvement, which provides a cycle of reflection and improvement. And finally, I'll share that it also includes stakeholder engagement. So all members who are here present and those who are listening on the World Wide Web, you have an opportunity to hear the information that has occurred within our district. So at this time, I will present to you Mr. Ben Tilley. Mr. Tilley.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharp. Good evening, Riverview Gardens Board of Education, Dr. Patton, and guests. It is always a pleasure when I am able to be in the district and in the schools for Riverview Gardens. I'm here tonight, as Ms. Sharp said, because we wanted to review the 3 years' worth of data that has been collected with the project between the Riverview Gardens schools and Solution Tree. Now, this wasn't just Riverview Gardens and Solution Tree. This is also part of work for the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So, in your board packet this evening, there is a report. It says the 2024-2025 Progress Report, and that report includes the 3 years' worth of data that we have collected about the progress for all of the Riverview Gardens schools. I would like to take some time just to go through what is included in that report. I want to take some time to look at how progress is measured, what data is collected, what the data means, and how we use that data to show you the progress that your schools have made. So we start with, there are 9 criteria or 9 areas that we look at for school improvement. The first of those being a culture of success. Now, these 9 areas that were developed by Dr. Sharon Kramer and Sarah Schull, but the criteria, the areas come from a comprehensive look at the work on school improvement, a look at professional learning communities, and a look at response to intervention. So you'll see pieces of all of those school improvement practices embedded within these success areas. Within those areas, though, those 9 categories, we look at specific school improvement practices. And we look at those practices based off of the professional learning community school improvement RTI practices. And we look at those categories that help schools make progress with and for students. So you can see here on the slide that there are from 2 to 6 different school improvement practices embedded under those 9 categories. I want to take a look a little closer at one of those. So if we look at the category number 3, which is the PLC practice of what is it we want students to know and be able to do, there are 3 broad practices under that category. One is common curriculum documents, and we have rubrics on pages 30 through 39 in the report that will direct you through each of those categories, those school improvement practices, and what they mean. The second is unpacked standards, and the third is student learning targets. Now, with just those 3 categories, that's a lot of information that's packed inside of those 3 categories or those 3 practices. But the way that we go about looking at scores for those, there is a school improvement, there is a guide that is used by the school and by our coaches. And the continuum starts at a scale of 0, which means that it is not a practice that's currently happening in the school. And it progresses to a category of a 4, which means that those practices are being implemented and sustained within those schools. So as schools begin to implement these practices and they become a part of their culture and a part of their community, we expect for those practices to grow over time, which is what we'll get to with our charts. We're going to look at that. So in order for schools to receive a score, the Solution Tree coaches work collaboratively with the leadership within a building and the guiding coalition, or guiding coalition is another name for leadership team within the buildings. And so when they come together and they're looking at items such as curriculum documents and trying to determine exactly where they are, whether they're a 0 or a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4, they have to provide evidence as to why they believe they're at a certain score. Ultimately, the coach that's working with those teams will have sort of the final say. They work together on determining, but it's all based on the evidence that is displayed by the person deciding the scores. So I wanted to just quickly, it's not one of the slides, but when we go back to that, what is it we want students to know and be able to do, and we look at common curriculum documents, here are some of the wording that is included in one of the rubrics. So a score of 0, not yet engaged in the action. A score of 1, collaborative teams do not reference a common pacing guide and may use curriculum suggestions. A score of 2, collaborative teams use district pacing guides and may give common assessments on different dates. On level 3, collaborative teams create and follow a clear scope and sequence which identifies student standards that they will earn in a given calendar year. So you can see as you move through each of those score categories, they become progressively, there is more evidence that is required to show that the schools are making the appropriate progress. So the goal, what we would like to see as schools progress is for the schools to be at a score of 3 or above. That is our goal, and we're going to look at some data to show where schools are currently. So in order to make the charts easier to read, we have color-coded those so that you can a quick glance and hopefully be able to see the progress that a school has made. So red is a 0 score. Gold is a score of 1. Yellow is a score of 2. Green is a score of 3. And blue is a score of 4. So here's an example. So you can see with this school, with a quick glance, you can see the progress that the school has made based on the colors that are used. So you can see there is a reduction and actually an elimination of those red scores, those 0 scores, as that school has put those practices into place. And you can see that there is a drastic increase in those scores at a level 4 and at a level 3. So that is a sign of continuous improvement within the school. So there is also in your packet, there is a horizontal bar chart. This chart has to do with the 9 categories. And what we do, we assign a score. So this is for the 25 school improvement practices, the stacked bar chart. This is for an overall score for a school. So a school could score different scores on the 25 practices, but have an overall score of. So for time for this evening, what I've done is I've taken this, the score for the 9 rubrics, and you'll see on the slides that I've included a 5 out of 9. So just a quick summary so that we can see the progress that the schools have made working towards that 3 or 4 score. So we're going to jump into our schools. So Riverview Gardens High School. If you look at the work of the high school, when they started in 2022, they had some of the practices in place already. And so as the team worked with the coaches, you can see the progress that has been made by the school, whereas the first year, most of the scores are in those lower categories, but as they've progressed and have started putting these practices into place, you can see the growth the high school has made, whereas now, I believe it's 88% of their scores are in that 3 and 4 category. So far, they have completed, 7 of the 9 categories are at a 3 or above. So great work by the high school. Our next school is Westview Middle School. And you can see in the beginning in 2022 in the fall, and I should have mentioned scores are gathered twice a year, in the fall and in the spring. And so in 2022, you see that there were some practices in place already for Westview Middle School. But in the spring of the next year of 23, we weren't able to get together to gather that data, so that's why there is data missing. So then in the fall of the next year, there was some makeup that needed to happen. But you can see how the school worked really hard to recover, and the progress that they made looking at their scores for 2025, it's impressive to see how much and how hard they worked to implement these structures and these strategies. Yes. Central Middle School is next, and you can see that they have reached 7 of the 9 practices. Once again, you can see in the beginning, which is just a normal part of, you don't know the systems and processes yet. And so, but they already had some of the systems and processes identified when we started. So they were already sort of ahead of the game. But the folks at the middle school have really focused on making those improvements and putting those structures into place. And it's been great when I can attend meetings at the middle school and listen to the great work that they're doing. But you can see the growth in those categories at level 3 and the growth in the level 4 scores. So great practices in place and great progress for Central Middle School. Next, we have Danforth Elementary. And in the beginning, you'll see that at Danforth, there was 100% of the scores were at those lowest categories. But they worked so hard that first year. I was so, I got to be in that building and to see the hard work that they were doing that first year. So they started the work. They jumped in and started. But with every school, changes occur, whether it's with staff or it's with administration or whatever it is. And so when we have changes in buildings, it often does affect scores, but what is great about it is we don't go back to 0. We still keep embedding those practices into everything that we do and making progress. So you can see currently at Danforth, they have met 2 of the 9, and they're working hard to get back into the swing of things and get things going again. Yes. Next is Gibson Elementary. And Gibson has been recognized as one of Solution Tree's promising practices schools. So they had to submit, yes. They had to submit data to a board, basically, for Solution Tree and a narrative to explain their practices. There are 3 schools identified, and we'll get to all 3 of those. But with Gibson, I love this chart because it is so clear to see the hard work that they have put into embedding those practices into their everyday life at school. So great job, Gibson Elementary. Then Glasgow Elementary, our next promising practices school. It was such an honor to be at their school, to be able to present their promising practices recognition for them. But another school that really has embraced the work, jumped in, has worked hard, has been very focused, and you can see the progress that they have made. It's really impressive to see in 2025, in this spring, the improvement that they made, not only in their scores of 3, but their scores of 4. So they're currently at 7 out of 9 of their scores are at a 3 or above. So great job, Glasgow. And I know those principals are here this evening, so thank you for being here. Then we move to Highland Elementary. And Highland is the first one of our turnaround schools, and that's our special project with the state of Missouri. And you can see in the beginning, Highland did have some of the practices already embedded into their culture. So they worked really hard, but once again, things happen and changes occur. So the school jumped right back into the work, though, in the in the fall of 23. And then by 24, the spring of 24, they were really starting to make good progress. So when they closed school at the end of this last school year, you can see clearly the progress that the school made towards their goals. So great job, Highland Elementary. Next is Koch Elementary. Koch is another school that in the beginning, they were learning the practices. And they worked diligently to put those systems and processes in place. It took them some time. It doesn't come the first year for everyone. It happens as the schools are ready for the work and are able to do the work. But you see, once they jumped in with the work, the progress that the school made over time. So Koch is well on their way, and they have 6 out of 9 of those practices in place. Next is LeMasters Elementary. And I've had the opportunity to be in that school a number of times too, and it's always a joy to be there. You can see that initially they had some of those practices in place as well. And their principal, their coach, and I have to give a shout out to their instructional coaches that are in all of these buildings. They are amazing individuals who work very hard to help support all of this work. This is a school that has an amazing instructional coach as well. But they've worked diligently, and they've worked hard identifying what it is exactly that students must learn in order to be successful. And you can see over time with their scores, the improvement that the school has made. So great job at LeMasters as well. Lewis and Clark is our second turnaround school. Lewis and Clark jumped in that very first year, and they really embraced the work. They worked hard, and you can see the gains that they made during that first year. Once again, changes occur within buildings. And so you can see that in the second year starting, they were starting to regain the ground that they had gained. So over time, Lewis and Clark has made some phenomenal growth. And if you look at the categories, they have achieved 5 of the 9 at a score of 3 or above, which is difficult to do in any school. So congratulations to Lewis and Clark. Next we have Meadows Elementary. Meadows is our third turnaround school. This chart I love as well. When you look at the chart for this school and you see that when they started, there weren't any of those practices weren't in place in the school or weren't identified. But you look at consistent growth over time, and this is exactly the kind of progress that you want to be able to see in a school. So the yellow, gold, and red have shrunk every single year to where only a bit of the yellow, so about 80% of their scores are in that category 3 and category 4. Hard work occurring at Meadows Elementary as well. And last but not least is Moline Elementary, our third promising practice school and the first in the district to be identified. And it was absolute pleasure to be with the team when they received their recognition. So at Moline Elementary, they have reached 8 of the 9 so far. So you can see from the beginning the work that's occurred, the evidence that they had to pull together to show their efforts that have been put in over time, so that by the time we get to the spring of 2025, you can see the growth that has occurred in that building as well. So recently, I had the chance to share this data first with Dr. Patton and Mrs. Nave, and then I had a chance to share this data with all of the leadership with the school district. And it was just so encouraging to see the growth that I said to Dr. Patton, this is a celebration of the growth and the hard work that has occurred within this school district. So thank you for your support of the schools in the district, and I would be happy to take any questions that you have.
I have a question. We use the terms 3 out of 4 and 3 of 4 and 4 of 4. And my question is are those terms interchangeable, or how do they correlate with what the state uses and what MAP uses as 3 being proficient and
Sure.
4 being advanced?
They do not correlate with what the state uses for MAP, but these scores are developed based on these rubrics that have been created on the work from Dr. Kramer, Sarah Schull, from professional learning communities for response to intervention. So it's all research based, but they don't correlate, those scores don't correlate to the scores on the MAP assessment.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Ben, I do want to say thank you, because this is great news. That means the foundation is being set for where we need to go. And so I do want to thank you and Solution Tree for all of the hard work, working with Ms. Sharp, making sure that these practices were established in our schools. And I do also want all of the principals, please stand. You all deserve a great loud round of applause. Stand, 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 stand. You all are doing the work. You all are doing the work. You're doing the work. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I remember last year I was meeting with Dr. Henderson, and I said, Dr. Henderson, what's up with all the red? And she said, I'm going to take care of the red, Dr. Patton. And all the red was gone. All of the scores went up. Hats off to all of you, all of you. She said, I'm going to show you. So, Dr. Henderson, thank you for showing me. Thank you. Ms. Sharp.
Yes, Dr. Patton. I would also like to recognize Dr. Emita Williams. While she was not, this school was not included as part of the financial support, she made sure that she attended every professional development session that we had. We provided professional literature so that it would support her. And so she is currently working on implementing many of these structures that has been discussed on tonight. So I'd like to make sure that we recognize her as well as Michelle Obama team. And finally, I'd like to recognize my colleagues. This year has been a phenomenal year, and it has been because we have really worked together as a team. So to Mrs. Nave, Leadership and Accountability, as well as to Dr. Ramsdell, who is over curriculum and instruction, and his team. I'd just like to commend them because we have been working extremely cohesive to make sure that we were meeting the needs of the district. So this work is not just done in isolation. We are really working as a team to ensure the success of the Riverview Garden School District. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Some good news to start, so thank you. Our next item up for information is the SY 24-25 travel report. Making this presentation is Dr. Joe Ramsdale, the Assistant Superintendent of CNI, and this presentation is in conjunction with policies DLCA, GCL, and GCLAP. Dr. Ramsdale?
Good evening, board. Good evening, Dr. Patton. Good evening, colleagues and friends. As requested by the board, information for all approved and confirmed district provided out-of-area employee travel related to professional development is presented herein. This travel report is provided for the board information in compliance with internal Riverview Gardens School District processes and policies, including the policies referenced by Dr. Patton. Additionally, PD and its related travel aligns to our CSIP plan, staffing and workforce, strategy 3, training support for certified and non-certified staff. This report reflects travel for the fiscal year 24-25 fourth quarter, which is April 1 through June 30th, along with cumulative totals for the school year. For fiscal year fourth quarter, April 1 through June 30th, the budget impact was for PD 1%, 0%, federal funds $43,917, and GOB 0 for a grand total of $43,900.17, with 17 employees traveling during that time period. For fiscal year 24-25, for the entire year, we had 65 events, which totaled a grand total of $136,188.10. Of that money, $12,838.21 was from PD 1%. Federal covered $115,391.38, and the general obligation budget department covered $7,958.51. This report is presented to the board for informational purposes only. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ramsdale. Where is security? Where is security? Miss Ross, I'm going to start feeling some kind of way. All right, moving on to our next item for information. The Boundary Realignment Committee making this presentation is Mr. Carl Scheid. He is the Executive Director of Facilities and Food Services, and this is in conjunction with Policy BCE. Mr. Scheid.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community. Tonight I come before you with an information item regarding the Boundary Realignment Committee. Back on June 24th of 2025, the Board of Education approved the closure of Danforth Elementary School at the conclusion of the 25-26 school year. As we move forward as a district, we will be forming a committee, the Boundary Realignment Committee, which will consist of stakeholders, which will include board members, students, principals, parents, district administrators, community members, political officials, and district partners. The primary focus of this committee will be to recommend realignment of our boundaries, as well as to recommend a grade level configuration that will best serve the needs of our students and strengthen the academic outcomes of the school district. Obviously, having our community's voice and input is extremely important in this process, so this committee will help facilitate public meetings that will take place through this fall so that we can share and receive input from our community as we talk about these changes in our boundaries and possibly our grade configurations as well. The intent is for the committee to come before the Board of Education with formal recommendations late fall to be reviewed and accepted. I'd be happy to take any questions you may have.
So anyone that would be interested in joining, we will put a link on our website. You can access that to get on the committee list. So I will work with Mr. Ishmael Sistrunk, our communications director. Tomorrow we will have that link up. So if you are interested, community or anyone sitting in our room, to be on the committee, we ask you to let us know. We will close the link by next Friday so that we can start setting up meetings. And then we want the input of our parents as well as our students, our staff, everyone. We want you all involved in the discussion and involved in the planning, including our board members. So again, the link will be up tomorrow and you will be able to access it. It will be called the Boundary Realignment Committee link. You can click on it and then send us the Google Doc. You'll type into the questions and then it'll go into our Google Doc and then we will send an email to all of those. So if you are interested, please tune in tomorrow on our website. We will take any questions you have. We did such a great job, Mr. Shai. That's what that means. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item up for discussion is the Michelle Obama Early Childhood Academic Center Program Evaluation. Making this presentation is the director/principal of Michelle Obama. We're going to move on past that little.
I heard too.
See, you try to, Okay. Anyway, Dr. Emita Williams.
Good evening, Board of Education, staff, community, scholars, and Michelle Obama. You from Michelle Obama? All right. Welcome. I appreciate you all being here tonight. This is our program evaluation. I'll be giving some information about our program. We can currently have 260 scholars at our center. And so therefore, right now we have 245 scholars. There is a typo on the first page. I apologize. It should not say 15 spaces. It should say 45 spaces. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm clicking. I'm not going to tell you what I thought that was earlier. They was joning me. Okay, so I push this right here. No, see? Okay, to the right. There we go. Okay. We currently have 159 general education scholars and 57 SSD scholars. We have 12 general education classrooms and 6 SSD classrooms. Again, that is a typo. It should say 45 spaces. We are having open enrollment right now, and also we have 90 scholars on the enrollment list, and they are currently waiting on being screened at this time. Even if they don't make it into our center, we still want to screen all scholars because they can be. So if you're in the community, any child that is 3 to 5 can come to Michelle Obama to be screened for developmental concerns and academic wellness, okay? From our parents as teachers, and they're going to talk later. I'm excited to have them here tonight. Our next slide just talks about our special education services that we offer. Our area coordinator is Dr. Kathleen Virod. We opened up 2 new classrooms this school year for our special school district. We are expanding, and we are also looking into more inclusion efforts for both parties this year. Our related services include occupational therapy, speech and language, physical therapy, social emotional support, and also academics. And you can see some of our photos from our scholars on there with them enjoying the petting zoo. They love the petting zoo. And what I noticed this year that we got a lot of language from children with animals at the school. So we had the petting zoo about 3 times this year. And I saw children speak that hadn't even spoken all year just through animals. So I really love that aspect. Our next slide. So last year I remember coming to talk to you about our data, and we didn't have any comparable data, but this year we have some comparable data for our MyIGDs, even though it's going bye-bye for this year, for this school year. Our number 1 goal was to increase student achievement. So if you see in the difference column, we did have 5 areas in ELA that we assessed this year, and 2 areas increased, 2 areas decreased, and 1 stayed the same. Any questions about that? We'll talk about it later. Okay, our next one is math. We did have 4 areas that we assessed for math. We had an increase in 1 area of math, and that was quantity comparison and early numeracy. The other areas we did decrease in those areas. Our next goal that we had was, I'm going to click, I'm sorry, is parental involvement. So this year we did add 2 new activities for our families this year due to our family survey. We added karaoke, and they really enjoyed that. It was a winter karaoke. And we also had a Thankful Families Lunch that was brought back. Also, we partnered with Parents as Teachers on that as well. And those are some other pictures of our Father's Walk and the lunch and karaoke. Goal number 3 is always to include our staff school climate and to increase morale and build capacity with our teachers. So we're constantly doing that every day. We continue to work on morale and collaborative teams and with our guiding coalition and all of those teams coming together and making sure that we are doing what's best for our youngest scholars. So this year our theme is building our futures together. And so these are some ways that we are building our future. We are participating with Little Bit. They have 2 free book fairs every year. Again, we opened up 2 half-day SSD classrooms. Also, we have 40% of families that signed up for the Dolly Parton Imagination Reading, and we have her standing in our library. If you come by, you know, some people kind of scared to see her standing there. They always telling me to turn her around, but that's Dolly. She's giving us free books, and our kids are excited. You know, you can't turn her around. We're continuing our school-wide expectations of be safe, be respectful, and being responsible. Also, we fundraised over $5,000 last year for our scholars, and we're steady saving that money so we can help our playground efforts. Also, we're continuing to align our assessments and our curriculum. We are going to start a dance team in the spring called the Mini Movers, so watch out. Yes, they're going to be here, and maybe we can dance for convocation next year. Incorporating morale boosters for staff and daily inspirations based on mutual respect and the PTO. And some things I dream about often about early childhood. I would love to expand the program. Of course, we need finances for that. So I'm always looking for grants that can help in this area. Most of the grants are for rural areas, but I am definitely still looking for grants for that. Some other efforts that we would love to have, of course, is social worker, and I'm working with student support services on that, and also counselors, and I would love a part-time librarian to kind of help us get our books in order. My dream, you see that dream down there? All right. The dream is a state-of-the-art early childhood center on one level that can enroll at least 500 scholars. That's my dream, Mr. Scheidt. And are there any questions for me? Without further ado,
Dr. Williams, yeah, you know you're in trouble. So we'll start with, what was the name of the assessment you said that the students were provided or given?
This year, it's called My IGDs, My Individual Growth Indicators.
Okay. And did
Yes.
you say this was the last year for it?
This is the last year for it, yes.
Okay. And what will replace it?
It's called the benchmark assessment. It was
Okay.
created by teachers here at the school.
Okay. And Ms. Sharp, you will be in charge of going over everything Dr. Williams presents, especially when you see my dream, just delete all of that until we get our budget under control. So good job, Dr. Williams. Good job.
Thank you. Any other questions? No other questions further? Okay. So we will have Ms. Megan Ziegler. She is our Parent as Teachers Coordinator.
Ms. Megan, do you have dreams on your presentation too? Okay. Maybe. All right.
Well, if I had known I could put dreams. So, I'm Megan Ziegler. I started here in September as the Parents as Teachers Coordinator last year. So I'm going to call up Marcia Carity, and she is going to go over some of the slides.
I know that's right. Thank you.
Good evening, Board of Education. I always wanted to say this. Board of Education, colleagues, scholars, community leaders, and co-workers. I am a parent educator. I've been with Riverview Gardens. This is going on my 5th year. I've been a parent educator since 2019. So I'm going to talk today about what is Parents as Teachers. PAT is the acronym for that, and it is a free parent education home visiting program for families prenatal to kindergarten entry. PAT supports parents on their parenting journey and helping their child develop, learn, and grow to reach their full potential. PAT empowers parents to be their child's first and most important teacher. Clicker. Oh. What does Parents as Teachers provide? Yearly screenings to monitor development, ideas on age developmentally appropriate activities, discuss the developmental centered parenting topics, family well-being discussions, community resources, group connections, developmental screenings for preschool enrollment and local daycare centers, and also before they enter kindergarten. So that's something that's important for our scholars that haven't been screened anywhere else. If they're going to enroll, it would be nice to know where they are for the teacher and for the parent. Thank you.
So, Parents as Teachers updates. We have 6 full-time parent educators. We have Karen, Shantae, Stephanie, Marcia, Frida, and Kathy, 3 of which are here with me tonight. And we have 1 part-time screener. So in the 2004-2005 program year, we served 157 families, which is up from 144 the previous year. Children served were 233, which was up from 197. We completed 1,057 screenings, which was up from 930. Oh, I'm sorry, that was visits. 1,057 visits, up from 930. We completed 396 developmental screenings, so that's 3 months all the way up until kindergarten entry. And we increased up to 7 daycares that we went to do screenings, which was 6 the year before. We had 7 group connections. We served 11 teen parents, and we referred 72 children for further evaluation, either with First Steps or SSD. So. Goals for Parents as Teachers, for all of Parents as Teachers, is to prepare every child for school readiness and success, increase parent knowledge of typical development, prevent child abuse and neglect, and to provide early detection of possible delays and health issues through the yearly developmental screenings. My program goals for this year would be to increase number of visits provided throughout the year by at least 10%, and to hopefully increase our part-time screening position to full-time. Some of the resources families have been connected to over the year is the Diaper Bank, Dolly Parton Imagination Library, the St. Louis County Library, St. Louis Area First Steps, Special School District, 100 Neediest Families, local food pantries and distributions, helping hand-me-downs, and free books with the help of Books for STL Kids and Ready Readers. We do try to provide at least 1 free book to every family every visit. Some results of our satisfaction survey. That is really small. Every year we do a satisfaction survey that we send out to parents, and so the first one is, the program has increased my understanding of my child's development. 89.9% of parents strongly agreed, and 10.1% of parents agreed. The other one was, I am able to help my child learn new skills because of this program. 92.8% of the parents strongly agree, and 7.2% agreed.
That's great.
The parents also have opportunity to write in, telling us some of their success stories or how the program helped their family. And these are just some of the answers I pulled. It helped prepare my child for school before he was old enough to be enrolled in Michelle Obama. It continues to help expose my child to new environments for growth and trying new things. The program has informed me of resources and assistance I didn't know about. My parent educator always gives me tips to help improve my child's learning and understanding, and she always goes above and beyond to get the job done. I am grateful to have met her. Teaching me how to cope through stress. It has helped me with different parent strategies and not to be so hard on myself. This program is very helpful to families and children. The support of the program is very beneficial. It can give a sense of peace and hope, like you are not alone. Especially as a single parent with little to no help, I receive positive feedback, encouragement, and advice. The PAT program has been very impactful. The program not only gives me resources and information to better myself as a parent and individual, but allows me to open up and be free without judgment from another parent and be able to talk to someone that is so positive and caring. Most of us need that, and I appreciate it. Any questions?
I didn't have a question, however, I do have a comment. My children, some of them, so I think 4 of my 7 were products of parents as teachers, and it is such an amazing program. As a parent, it confirmed what I was doing right, and it taught me some things that I could do, and it helped me to understand the importance of following education with your child and preparing them, and knowing as a parent what you can do at home to make sure that your child is ready. I commend you for reaching out to the teen parents, because there's a saying that says you bend the sap while it's young. So if we teach our teen parents that they can be impactful and they can be useful in the development of their child and making sure that their child is on task, that will help them as their children get older and go to school, and then you won't have to fight with them for parent teacher conferences, because they'll be there because it has been a pattern that they've established. It's become a habit, and they know that this is important and it's something that I need to do. So I commend you. It's a wonderful program.
And I just wanted to state that it's been quite a few years since I participated in PAT. My children, my adults are 32 and 30, and it was through PAT that I found out that my son exhibited signs of autism. And so that's where the work began for us, and I was able to get him in a preschool special education program because he was tested. So I'm just happy to see that the program is changed a lot over the years, but for the better. So I'm just happy to see that the program is still in existence.
So I understand how successful this is for our little ones. How do you all work with when they get to elementary school, junior high? I mean, we have lots of programs, I know. I know we have something called Parent University. Mm-hmm. So we have challenges with attendance and other responsible things. So how do you all interact with the other organizations?
So with parents as teachers only going up until they enter into kindergarten, we try to work with the parents up until that time and instill in them the understanding that attendance is important. You know, keeping their appointments with the parent educators starts that habit of getting to school on time and getting their children to school and things like that. We haven't really worked with any of the other programs in the district, but it is definitely something that I'm going to be looking into for this year and further on.
Thank you.
Ms. Megan, how do you all promote PAT in the community? What are some of the things that you do to make sure that our parents are aware, parents that have students that are kindergarten and up, but they may have younger students. How is that made, how are they made aware of it?
So we have a Facebook page. I have also asked communications where they'll pop our flyer onto the district's Facebook page. I believe it went out on Peach Jar last year. All of the schools have our flyers there, as well as parent educators are assigned different schools for them to go into and hopefully get in there, you know, twice a year at parent involvement nights, you know, parent-teacher conferences, book fairs, things like that. Also this year with Focus, we were able to add a question on where parents could click if they had children under 5, and I get a report of that. So then I'll be able to kind of send a little informational letter to those parents that have the younger kids to explain about our program.
Do we ever send our flyer out not just in Peach Jar, but also just emailing that to our parents?
I haven't yet, but that is something that's on my to-do list for this year now that
Okay.
you know, with the new system.
Yes, if you will, and you can work with Ishmael Sistrunk too, and he can make sure that information is shared periodically, just as an email to our parents.
And then also with our screener getting into the daycares, she also leaves our flyers there and talks to families about the Parents as Teachers programs, if there's any concerns or if they're interested in it. So she gets the word out that way.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Our next item up for information is the Health Services Program Evaluation. Making this presentation is Ms. Diana Mitchell. She is the lead nurse for Riverview Gardens, and this is in conjunction with Policy IM, Evaluation of Instructional Programs. Ms. Mitchell?
Good evening to the Riverview Gardens Board of Education, Dr. Tanya Patton, colleagues, and community. Changes made this past year, the 2024-25 school year, the district stayed committed to keeping our students healthy and safe by following the CDC and the St. Louis County Department of Public Health guidance for respiratory viruses. Every one of our 15 health offices was fully staffed with the support of 11 district nurses and 4 supplemental nurses. CURSTL continued to serve as the provider for our RAM school-based health clinic, offering medical services on Monday and mental health services on Tuesdays through May 31st, 2025. We also partner with community health care providers to bring vital services directly to our scholars, including immunization clinics, as well as vision, hearing, and dental screenings. Our goals and objectives are to continue preventive mitigation efforts to reduce the spread of communicable diseases, ensure full nurses coverage across all 15 health offices by transitioning from agency to district employed nurses, strengthen community partnership by collaborating with current providers and seeking new opportunities, reestablish the school-based health clinic services by contracting a new health care agency for the RAMS clinic. Finally, we will continue supporting employee wellness through our partnership with the Visiting Nursing Association, providing wellness screenings, preventive vaccinations for all employees covered under the CSD insurance. Our team relies on these key tools to evaluate and guide student health services. Daily health office visit logs tracks visits to identify trends and emerging needs. Immunization compliance reports ensure alignment with state and district requirements. K-12 end of year report provide a comprehensive summary of services delivered. Quarterly reports keep us updated on RAMS and CURSTL clinic activities. Consent forms enable delivery of vision, dental, asthma, immunizations, and hearing services through our partners. I would like to highlight a few successes of the program. BJC Healthy Kids Express, 60 immunizations, chronic care for 16 scholars, asthma management for 118 scholars. Kids Vision for Life, 3,192 screenings, 317 eye exams, 326 eyeglasses, 49 medical referrals. Gateway to Oral Health, 37 restorative services for the summer of 2024, and 491 scholars served the school year for the 24-25 school year. Special School District, 2,042 hearing screenings with 238 referrals. St. Luke's Hospital, 18 mammograms for our Riverview Garden School District employees. Visiting Nursing Associations, wellness screenings and vaccines for 15 employees. Little Bit Foundation and SLU, 30 immunizations, 50 physicals, and 329 health educational classes. Our opportunities and next steps include finalizing an MOU for a new agency for the RAM School-Based Health Clinic. Maintain collaboration with St. Louis County Department of Public Health on disease and preventive mitigations. Keep scheduling on-campus immunization clinics with community partners. Strengthen and expand current healthcare partnerships. And explore shingles and RSV vaccines to the VNA Wellness Clinic services for our employees. Are there any questions?
I see that you are exploring, I'm sorry, I see that you are exploring for more collaboration to include other healthcare agencies. Do we still have our partnership with Christian Hospital?
I believe that, I'm not sure. I will find out.
Okay, thank you.
So, Dr. Coleman, we had a partnership with Christian Hospital when we initially opened up our school-based health center. We had a partnership with KRSTL and Christian. We are developing a new partnership as KRSTL ended their partnership with us at the end of the 24-25 school year. Other questions? Miss Diana, great job.
Thank you.
Dr. Patton, you know, People's Health Center is right in our community. Could that be a possible partnership?
Can't hear.
Do you want to go and talk about who we're working with?
Can't hear.
Yes, ma'am. So we do send some of our parents to People's Health Clinic for immunization. We also use John C. Murphy for immunizations. Currently, we are looking at family care health centers for our RAMS clinic. We've met with them and we're working out a MOU proposal.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Our next item up for information is the Safety and Security Program Evaluation. Making this presentation is Mr. Warren Newton, our Director of Safety and Security, and this presentation is in conjunction with Policy IM. Mr. Newton?
Good evening, Dr. Patton, School Board, colleagues and community. Do I control this?
They've got to bring up the PowerPoint.
Okay. Do you have it? Nope. Okay. I have my little cheat sheet. Changes made to safety and security program due to budgetary constraints that affected the entire district. We went from 40 officers to 30 officers. And 2/3 of those officers were reduced to part-time. We've updated the standard operating procedures for the security department, emergency operation procedures, the district's crisis plan. We've introduced metal detectors into the elementary school along with secure vestibules, and our safety team has received 40 hours of training. Raptor drill manager is something we're still working on. All the principals have it, and I think it's growing pains. And if you don't know what Raptor is, it just keeps track of our drills, and we can actually run drills on the phone app. And we also have Raptor visitor management that's in all our school buildings. Goals and objectives: maintain relationship with first responders that serve our district. We also periodically attend training meetings with Center for Educational Safety, Missouri School Board Association, and other school districts in the area. Continue our relationship. Myself and assistant director, once a year we go to it's either Jeff City or Cape Girardeau for the school safety specialist certification. Tools and criteria used to evaluate our program. I had SIS-K, but it's focused now. The procedural handbook, reviewing no trespass orders, school incidents, operating procedures, department expectations, and Raptor. Success of the program is based on, and I'll summarize all these numbers, basically just reducing incidents. And we kind of categorize incidents based on burglaries, vandalism, things of that nature. So since 2021, for example, we really hit hard with burglaries that affected our schools in the 21-22 school year, but those have consistently gone down. We haven't had, thank God, we haven't had any burglaries in the last 3 years. We've had some acts of vandalism, however, those have declined significantly. Went from 8 in 21-22. We had 4 the following year, 2 and 2 the next 2 years. Opportunity and next steps. Continue our relationship with first responders, collaborate with leadership and accountability in documenting incidents, assist in creating an environment conducive to learning, provide training to our security personnel. We have opportunity to conduct safety audits through Strategos, and I think that's about it. And I'd just like to add security. We're not just security. A lot of our officers participate. They might coach in sports. We have football coaches, cheer, dance, track coaches, flag football, basketball, weightlifting, things of that nature. And I think that's it. Do you all have any questions?
President. So what you say, the reduction in the burglaries and vandalism, do you think that the introduction of the more lighting and the safety improvement programs from the building, Mr. Scheidt's department has helped reduce a lot of that?
The lighting is kind of new, but it definitely won't hurt, and it will help.
And then the reduction in the DSOs, for budgetary.
Oh, yeah.
However, how are you managing that?
It's tough, but we're managing. And when I say tough, we have to do more with less. And I get it. It's just like balancing our household budget. We just got to make cuts somewhere, and we just have to come up with new ways and be creative in how we do it.
So the last question is, I know there had been some discussion for a long time, back and forth, about some procedures that the district was going to implement regarding possible building improvements for in case somebody comes on and the building is not supposed to be there. and they were going to have like color-coded
Oh, yeah.
hallways and stuff like that. Whatever happened to that program?
It's about 98% done. This school was actually one of the first ones we ordered the information, but for some reason it just never made it to the district. All the other schools are done. I think Highland may or may not be done, but all the other schools are.
So that means you have to communicate that with the fire department and the police department in these different municipalities.
Yes.
When you guys, are you all working together for
Yes.
this?
Yeah,
Okay.
they actually, Chief Goldstein actually came out to actually show us how it should be done and kind of work
Okay.
within the parameters of what they use.
Okay, so we're close.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions?
This is a program that's being done statewide, isn't it? I noticed that we have some color coding in the Hazelwood
Can't
School
hear us.
District.
They can't hear you.
Cannot hear you.
I noticed we have some color coding in a neighboring school district. So is this something that's being done across the state?
Yes, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the nation.
Okay.
Yes. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Our next item up for information is the fund balance report. Making this presentation is Ms. Stephanie Terry, the CFO, and this is in conjunction with policy DIAA fund balance.
Good evening, school board, Dr. Patton and guests. Can you guys hear me? Okay, what you see before you in the is the month financial report. Page 1 is a summary for the month ending for July 31st, 2025. If you look at the summary, please note that the capital project fund for Fund 4, that does include Prop S money, so that's why it's 20 million. So that includes the Prop S funding. So the first column shows the fund balance carried forward for the previous year, 24-25, and that is unaudited numbers. So I continue to say that in case the numbers change, but it's highly unlikely that they will change, but these are unaudited numbers. The second column is the revenue received to date. So approximately to date, we have for month ending July 31st, we received $5 million in revenue, and our year-to-date for expenditures is $7 million. So as you can see, our expenditures outpace the revenue in which we receive. That is why it's so important to carry a fund balance so we can cover these offsets whenever the revenue is not as great as the expenditures. And so that is basically a summary of this report. It doesn't really capture much because we only have 1 month in. So as we move throughout the year, a quarterly report will be able to give me a better projection so we can see how we will move and end the year. Some of the key dates and goals met on August the 13th, the ASBR, which is the annual Secretary of the Board report, was submitted. And that's important because that counts towards the MSET 6 accreditation, and we received 2 points. So we did the initial submission on 8/13. So what now the finance team has to do, we have to look at the edits and make those corrections. Once we make those corrections, we submit it again. Once DESE accepts it, we will get a final balance letter, and that will happen around October and November later in the fall. Second thing that's going on in the finance department is the external audit. Right now, the preliminary field work was started in July, where the auditors are looking at our financial statements, our internal controls, doing sample testing, and the final field work is scheduled to be in October. So we're on pace. Everything is in order in the finance department. One last thing I want to talk about is the fund balance, and I know I mentioned that every month when we meet. Currently, it's projected to be 24.0%, ending for 24-25. However, the theme for the district is we still have work to do. There are reductions that still need to happen, and the district must continue to make financial adjustments or enhance revenue in order to not be below the 15% policy of our fund balance. And like I said, as we move forward in the year, quarterly reports will help me get a better projection of where we're scheduled to end. So I don't want to project where we will end at the end of the year until I have more data. So any questions? Okay, thank you.
And our last item up, information item up, is our crisis intervention plan. Making this presentation again is our Director of Safety and Security, Mr. Warren Newton, and this is in conjunction with policies EBCA. Mr. Newton.
Okay. We have the crisis plan. Okay. Basically, the crisis plan is operating procedures in the event of a crisis in the district, and it outlines who does what, and without seeing it, each principal would start off as the POI or whatever, and it just outlines everything. We know who to call for what services we need, who's responsible for what action in the crisis plan, and it's something that we don't make public, but people have access to it that need to have access to it. Any questions about the crisis plan? Yes, ma'am.
Did you just say you don't have a crisis plan?
We do have one. Okay, here it is.
Okay.
I was looking for it on a monitor, but that is our crisis plan. And it's updated every year to include new staff and new roles. Any more questions? Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our items for information. Moving into items for discussion. Our first item up for discussion is the policy recommendation. Making this presentation is Ms. Jennifer Williams, our Human Resource Manager, and this is in conjunction with policy CH. Ms. Williams.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Patton, community, and colleagues. Tonight, I am presenting 11 policies for discussion. The first policy is policy BBBA-1, Board Member Qualifications. MSBA has updated this policy in accordance with House Bill 199, which created a new requirement for candidates running in school board elections. It is recommended that the board adopts this policy as presented with the revisions from MSBA. The next policy is policy KK, visitors to district property and events. MSBA has updated this policy to align with recent federal court guidance regarding restrictions on individuals banned from district property. Individuals, we are asking that language be added. We would like to add that individuals must appeal in writing within 15 business days of receiving the notice. And they will send that appeal to our administrative coordinator, to the superintendent. We are recommending that the district accept the changes as outlined by MSBA with the addition of the language to include the appeal window. The next policy is policy JGR1, student discipline. The cell phone language in student discipline, in our student discipline guide, did not align with the new cell phone law. So this policy is being updated to support the new legislation. So it is recommended that this policy is adopted and accepted, and that we accept the suggestions written by MSBA. The next policy is policy IGD, district-sponsored extracurricular activities and groups. MSBA has updated this policy to comply with Senate Bill 39, which prohibits students, athletes from competing in sports designated for the opposite biological sex listed on their birth certificate or other official record issued at or near the time of birth. Additionally, per Senate Bill 63, MSBA has revised the policy to remove the requirement that students be enrolled in the district to participate in extracurricular activities. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the suggestions as written by MSBA. The next policy is policy IGDAA, resident participant, student involvement in activities and events. MSBA created a new policy to comply with Senate Bill 63, which requires school districts and charter schools to allow students attending a homeschool, family-paced education school, or virtual school to participate in certain district activities and events without being enrolled in the district. It is recommended that the Board of Education accepts this new policy as written to address updates in legislation and Senate Bill 63 and MISHA regulations. The next policy is policy JFCD, student use of personal communication devices. MSBA has created this new policy to comply with a new statute that requires districts to adopt a policy that prohibits student use of personal communication devices during the school day. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt this policy as recommended by MSBA. The next policy is policy IGBCA, programs from homeless students. The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has released updated guidance regarding the education of homeless children and youth, which outlines the process for resolving disputes related to eligibility, school selection, or enrollment for students in transition. The Missouri School Boards Association has revised this policy to align with the update. It is recommended that the Board of Education accepts the policy as stated by MSBA. The next policy is policy DFA, revenues from investments and use of surplus funds. This policy is being updated to ensure investments are adhered to. MSBA recommends replacing DFA-2 with the updated unified DFA policy to simplify administration, ensure alignment with Missouri Safe Harbor investment standards, and allow for future customization based on professional investment advice. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopt the updated DFA policy as presented. The next policy is policy IGBI, homeschooling and other educational options. This policy is being amended to remove limited language that tied homeschool participation to board approval or minimum statutory requirements. It extends extracurricular eligibility to homeschool students and students enrolled full-time in virtual programs. It clarifies eligibility standards and ensures no additional restrictions are placed solely because of homeschooling or virtual enrollment status. It is recommended that the board adopt policy IGBI as outlined by MSBA to ensure compliance with Senate Bill 68. The next policy is policy IGCDA, full-time MOCAP virtual courses. This policy is being updated, so there is a clear statement that full-time MOCAP students are eligible to participate in extracurricular activities on the same basis as district enrolled in-person students. It clarifies eligibility standards and applies equality to all students, and it also is being updated to include specialized programs or activities may have costs associated, and these costs are to be paid by the host district. It is recommended that the district adopts policy IGCDA as outlined by MSBA to ensure compliance with Senate Bill 68. The last policy is policy GBE, staff health and safety. MSBA has revised this policy to remove specific language regarding medical examinations for school bus drivers, as these requirements are already addressed under Section 162.064 of the revised statutes of Missouri. The revisions also reaffirm the district's commitment to staff health and safety and include safe working conditions, compliance with ADA, Section 504, and the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, as well as maintaining confidentiality of medical records. It is recommended that the board accepts the changes as stated by MSBA. Are there any questions?
All right, thank you, Ms. Jennifer.
Thank you.
Our next item up for discussion is the 100 neediest cases. Making this presentation is Ms. Deirdre Liddell, the Executive Director of Student and Community Support Service, and this is in conjunction with policy DJF. Ms. Liddell.
Greetings to the Riverview Gardens Board of Education, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community. Memorandums of understanding are essential to the success of our district. They facilitate valuable external support that enhances educational experience and overall well-being for our students. This would be the third year for 100 neediest cases if accepted. 100 neediest cases is an amazing partner to us. Through this collaboration, deserving families have received support during the holiday season with essential needs such as food, shelter, utilities, clothing, and more. Last year, we received over $50,000 worth of checks for our families. We've had more than 10 truckloads of toys, beds, and other household items for our families. So they really, really take care of the Riverview Gardens School District. And then also, I would also like to highlight that they have paid over $3,000 worth of utilities for our family, utility bills for our families. So with this MOU, there is no budget impact for the district. This MOU has been vetted by legal, and we are asking for approval at the end of tonight's board meeting. Are there any questions for 100 neediest cases?
Madam Chair, the question that can you all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
The question that I have pertains to checks and balances.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you all have any checks and balances in place to make sure that the actual people are the ones, I don't know if it's limited to Riverview people or what, but that they are actually listed in our school district and what have you, because I can't say that on.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, I participated in something similar to this and there was some individuals that had their names submitted like they live within the scope of where we were, and they did not. So I just want to make sure we had checks and balances, that every name that is submitted is the one that's getting the funds, and they,
Yes, ma'am. So we have checks and balances on the Riverview Gardens School District side, as well as the 100 neediest cases side.
Okay.
So with a lot of the community supports, what a lot of the companies are doing now is tracking our families through Social Security numbers.
Yes.
And with that, families are not able to go to United Way, another organization, and pretty much get resources from every single company. Our social workers have taken the lead for 100 neediest cases. With that, they are meeting with our families. They're getting the information. And with 100 neediest cases, every family has a story written up about them.
Right.
And submitted to the organization.
Right.
With that, some of our families are even pulled and interviewed for the Post-Dispatch.
Right.
We also keep a file, and there is a chance that 100 neediest cases will come out and audit our files. So we ensure that these are our families. Our families have to come in. We're meeting with our families. And we're also making sure that we have some other stipulations on our side to ensure that these are our families.
Good. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ms. Liddell, thank you. Our next item up for discussion is the staffing plan adjustment. Making this presentation is Mr. Travis Ford, Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, and this is in conjunction with several policies, IHB, GCA, GCD, and GDA. Mr. Ford.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Patton, colleagues, and community. Today you have before you an adjustment for the staffing plan. The 2025-26 staffing plan was approved by the Board of Education on July the 8th, 2025. Each year, the proposed staffing plan is developed based on projected enrollment in the academics and operation needs for each school site. Since the plan's approval, we are recommending adjustments to reflect updated district needs. The recommended changes are intended to ensure that the staffing allocations remain responsive to the evolving student and school needs while maintaining a strong commitment to fiscal responsibility. The proposed staffing adjustments are as follows. 2 reinstated high school social study teacher allocations funded through the general operating budget. 1 high school business teacher allocation reinstatement funded through the Perkins Grant. 1 Secretary 2 for the Student and Transitions Department reclassification position funded through the Title I Big A grant. And the reclassification of 4 instructional assistants federally funded from part-time to full-time under Title I Little A. It is recommended that the Riverview Gardens School Board approve the 2025-26 staffing plan adjustments as presented. Are there any questions? Thank you.
I want to state that I know what I want to ask, but I can't get it together in my head, so I'll send it to you and Dr. Patton regarding this.
Yes, ma'am.
Ditto.
All right, and our last item up for discussion is the 2025 LAMP service agreement. Making this presentation is Mr. Dr. Joel Ramsdale. He is Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, and this is in conjunction with policy GBCB, IGBH, and IGBC. Dr. Ramsdale.
Good evening again. The administration respectfully submits for board consideration the 2025 service agreement with the Language Access Multicultural People, or LAMP. LAMP is a nonprofit agency under the Catholic Charities, which provides professional interpretation and translation services designed to reduce linguistic and cultural barriers for our ELL families, immigrants, refugees, and individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. Through this agreement, the district will have access to on-site interpreting, over-the-phone interpreting, video interpreting, as well as American Sign Language and translation services for written documentation. Services are available in more than 60 languages, as well as American Sign Language. Just this last year, we utilized 36 hours of on-site interpreting services and 8 hours of video remote interpreting services, which totaled an expenditure of $4,997.26. Approval of this agreement will ensure the district maintains compliance with federal and state requirements for language access. It strengthens equitable engagement with families aligned with our comprehensive school improvement plan and supports our mission for providing inclusive educational opportunities for all students, including our growing English language learner population. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the attached 2025 service agreement with LAMP for the provision of interpreting and translation services not to exceed $7,000, effective for 1 year. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
So have we exhausted all avenues of grants and sponsorships for this program before we add this to our budget?
So we have used LAMP for the last several years. I have not looked to see if there are grants available. I will tell you, in Kansas City, we used a similar service through the Jewish Community Services. We can look for grant opportunities, but I know this is a typically outsourced service.
And it's provided through Catholic Charities?
Correct.
Is any possibility they could donate this service to
I can
us?
ask.
Thank you.
Absolutely. The worst thing they can say is no, right?
All they can say.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Madam Vice Chair, that concludes our items for discussion.
Madam Vice Chair, under items for action, because I need time to really formulate the questions that I want to ask about the staffing plan, I'm asking that it be pulled, and can we bring it back up at our next meeting? If there's a urgency that it has to be done, I'm willing to accept that, and then I can submit my question. But I know what I want to ask, but I just got to get it formulated, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
So if there's an, okay.
Yes, you can, if you'd like to pull it, Ms. Morreal,
Yeah.
or if we can discuss your question. I know the board may be wondering why we are adding social studies teachers back to the staffing plan. It is simply because all of our students at the high school have to have social studies, and we don't have enough sections.
Okay.
So we have to add 2 more teachers to meet the requirements that all of our students have social studies. The rest of the staffing plan will be covered by grants, Federal Perkins Grant, and then Title 1A and Title Little A, so they are not on GOB.
Right.
But there are 2 social studies positions that we are adding back so that we can ensure all of our students at the high school have the required social studies classes that they need.
Okay, and I guess what it is, you know, just to hear the word reinstatement, that kind of sends chills down my back a little bit. I'm just going to be honest with you, but I am willing, for the good of the organization and our students, to withdraw my request. Thank you.
Okay. The first one, I would like a motion to approve the 100 neediest cases as presented.
Madam Vice Chair, I so move.
Second.
Moved by, what's her name? Ms. Moria, and second by Ms. Coleman. Roll call. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Are there any questions?
No.
Okay, the next one. 2025 staffing plan adjustments. Motion to approve the staffing plan adjustment. You better leave me alone. Motion to approve the staffing plan for 25-26 adjustments. Do you understand that?
Yes, so moved.
Second.
Moved by Maureen, second by Ms. Jackson. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 The last one is the 2025 lamp service agreement. Motion to approve the lamp service agreement.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the lamp service agreement for the 2025 year. Did I do it wrong?
Madam Chair, I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Coleman, second by Ms. Moria.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, when Dr. Ramsdale gets the grant for this, then that means that this goes back. Okay, thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
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 Motion approved for the 2025 lamp service agreement. Can we adjourn the meeting? Motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
You can breathe.
Aye.
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 Motion adjourned. Roll call vote.
Roll call. She said roll call.
Can we have roll call vote?
All in favor? Yes.
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 Meeting adjourned.
She could breathe.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Everybody have a blessed day, blessed night.